Hi, I'm Angie. I'm a mixed media textile artist, and today I'm showing you how I take items that I've collected on my daily walk and turn them into designs that I can use for screen printing. Now, if you haven't watched video one of this series, I recommend that you go back and watch that one. In that video, I talk about my inspiration for my daily walks, and I show you how I use a phone app to take photos or take those images and convert them into a format that I can use for screen printing. So today we're going to actually make a silk screen and we're going to start printing on the fabric. So let's go ahead and get started with that. Now, you've heard me talk about a Thermofax machine, and you may be wondering what that is. It's very old school technology that was developed back in the 1950s by the 3M company, and it was used for making the master copy for mimeograph machines, which were, I guess you could say, the early copy machines before the copy machine as we know it came on scene. So they are very old, they're very difficult to find, they're a little pricey because they're so difficult to find, and the parts are difficult to find for them. And these are very delicate machines. The machine itself is very simple. It consists of a belt that feeds the material through the machine and a light. The light is very bright and intense, and it gets very hot very fast. So this machine uses a very special screen fabric, and it has a screen mesh on one side and a plastic on the other side, and they're laminated together. To make the silk screen, you want to take that high contrast black and white image, place it against the plastic side of the screen, and feed it through the machine. So as it's being fed through the machine uses the heat from that bright light to burn away the plastic wherever there's black in your image. And that creates a hole that allows your paint to pass through as you're screen printing. And here is the finished screen. It's almost ready for printing. All I need to do is add some tape around the edges, and that gives some stability to the screen and prevents the edges from fraying. So now let's move on to the dyeing process. For this series, I want to use some rust-dyed fabric, and I'm going to dye it using a special liquid rust dye that I've created. Now, if you want to know more about that, I do have a full class on rust dyeing with fabric. I'll leave the description down below, and if you're interested, you can check that out. So I'm going to just start out by dyeing a crumpled background or a textured background created by crumpling the fabric, putting it in my container, and then pouring the dye over it. So with the rust dye, it really likes to have some heat. So I'll usually just put this in a plastic bag to cover it and put it outside in the sun. You want to keep it moist, so that's why I put it in the plastic bag, because you don't want it to dry out. So just leave it out until it gets the depth of rust that you want. So the longer the fabric sits in the rusting solution, the richer it becomes. But if you take it out too soon and you don't like it, you can always put it back in and do it again. And then you need to rinse it out and neutralize it in a baking soda solution. Now, that doesn't stop the rusting action. It basically takes the fabric back to a neutral pH condition, because to make this dye, I use vinegar in the process. So the solution is very acidic, and you don't want to leave all of that acidicness, I guess you can call it, in your fabric. So the baking soda solution just kind of neutralizes the fabric, but it doesn't stop the rusting action. And I get that question a lot, so that's why I mention that. People like, will it rust away? It probably will, and maybe a few hundred years. So I don't think it's anything that we need to worry about today. So as I said, I do have a full course on this, so look in the description below if you're interested in that. In the next video, we're going to get down to choosing colors and printing. Well, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you haven't watched the first video of the series, I recommend that you go back and watch that. And if you don't want to miss the next video, be sure and hit that subscribe button and hit that bell so that you don't miss it. I hope to see you back here in the next video, but until then, have a beautiful, beautiful day. Bye-bye now.